What is going on, guys? It is Daniel Wright, and you are here listening to another episode of Paving the Way, and I am happy to see you on this Wednesday morning. Depending on where you're coming from, if you're down in Florida, I hope you guys are doing good down there, dealing with the hurricane coming through there. If you're in somewhere else in the southeast, if you're not getting wet yet, it's going to be coming. And if you're somewhere else in the United States or Canada or any other parts of the world that you're listening, I hope whatever's going on there is as good as possible. Guys, I know I did not come to you on Saturday. I put out the message that, I'd be resuming it today, Wednesday. To be completely honest with you, I went to go record an episode on Friday evening for you guys, and I just really didn't have much on my mind I wanted to share. And like I told you guys recently, I try to make sure that the content that I put out is relevant. It's, something recent going on in my life or that I've been dealing with or helping other people deal with. So it was one of those, I didn't want to just push something out to push it out. So I put it on hold, and I enjoyed my Friday evening with my wife. I enjoyed the weekend with our company. We got to take everybody out to a Charlotte Knights game last week for our quarterly outing. Got a nice spot down there for everybody. Even though the Knights lost, because apparently they're one of the worst minor league baseball teams in the league right now, but that is what it is, right? And then on Sunday, I was able to, we hosted a baby shower for some friends, spent some time with the mother-to-be's husband, so we hung out for a little bit. So I just had a nice weekend. Sometimes it's kind of nice to refresh from this. I know I'm not doing these podcasts like some podcasters do, where they put it out every single day and they're in front of you, constantly, and you just, can't not see them, right? I don't want to be that way. And like I said, I want whatever content I'm putting out for you guys to be authentic and from the heart and relevant to what's going on in my life. So that being said, if you're catching a glimpse of something behind me here, well, there's two things. One, we got some pretty sweet logos put up in the office recently. Huge thanks to Speed Pro over in Cornelius. So Speed Pro North Charlotte hooked us up with that. Got some other stuff they got in the office for us, but no, they're not a sponsor of this. I don't do any sponsors. I just like telling people about good companies that do a good job. So then the little guy here behind me, where it looks like it says The Simulation. That's obviously the title of today's show. The Simulation. I'll let you guys see this here. All right. There's a little bit of a backstory to all this. So we got this here. I was graciously presented this at our quarterly outing last week by the company, by everybody on the team. And the backstory to it is that the picture was taken at our Christmas party 2 years ago. If it wasn't the first Christmas party we did as a company, it was an early on one, and that was on the way back. We had a party bus that brought the whole company back to the office after the night was over. And there was a Hulk hand left on the party bus, and everybody was passing around taking pictures, and that's the one that stuck of me. So we got that there, obviously, right? And then on the bottom, it's got our logo on it. So it's got the company logo because that's the company we work in. And then the top, the Simulation. So there's a little bit of a story behind that. And it kind of goes in line with what I'm going to talk about today. So what we've been talking about recently with trying to grow the company and provide more opportunities for people to join our mission, to kind of jump on board with us and be a part of our network and our group that we are trying to grow and expand. Obviously, with that, we have to really hone in on our processes, our systems, and things like that, right? So it's coming up every week in our weekly meetings. Like, how can we dial in this process? How can we dial in this system? What do we need to recreate, edit, add, take out, make it easier, whatever it may be, right? What do we need to do to make sure that everything that we do is as close to a simulation as possible? And JJ, our operations manager, he kind of gives me some grief every now and then. He's like, dude, we're humans. This isn't a simulation. Like, it's not just this thing that we can computerize and all of a sudden it's, done. And as I've gotten to think about it, when it comes to building and growing a company, especially one that the founder, the originator, the person who is creating all of these, ideas and expectations and things like that, the further they get away from the day-to-day operations, you have what is typically called the law of blank. basically where it's the further they get from the day-to-day stuff, the less things are getting done the way that they originally did them, right? So I will think of the word that I was looking for here in a minute. So just give me a few. I'll spit it out. But it's to help make sure that the processes and systems are being followed so that they're getting done as close to the original expectation and standard as possible. So what you have to do that, you have to create systems and processes, right? And then if you create those systems and processes, those create boundaries in which people to operate by. Alex Hormozy has said it before. I've heard other, business guys talk about it. They say, look, like we don't create these boundaries and systems and processes to constrict you. We create them to help you succeed and help you win. So that way, if you have a team member that's coming to you and saying, man, like I tried this and it didn't work, or, I was doing this and this and this and it didn't work. The first question by the leader is typically, well, did you follow the process? And if they say yes, well, then, okay, let's dive into this process and see where it fell through the cracks that we need to fill in and make sure it's better for next time. And then if the person says, well, no, I wanted to do it this way, or no, I didn't think I needed to do that, or no, I didn't, whatever the excuse is, right? And they say no, then the answer is typically like, all right, well, let's try it doing the process that we outlined and the boundaries that we built, and then tell me how your results are. Like, then give me the feedback on what you got. 9 times out of 10, the feedback is going to be that, oh, it worked, right? So having a process and a system and things like that for your business is so important, because unless you want to be the guy or the girl doing the thing every day, because you're then just watching it, managing it, things like that, unless you want to be that person doing it every day, you have to have a really clearly identified system in place that people can follow, so that it becomes like a simulation. I'm not saying that you have to lose all the human element of things, right? We are human. We forget things. We improvise on things. There's, factors like we work outside. So there's things outside that, we can't control. If all of a sudden it starts raining or it's stupidly hot like it has been, whatever it may be. But 99% of it should be a simulation. Like, you have a process to follow. I mean, we have flow charts that go from the time we get a phone call to the time we send an invoice. And so it's like, if you follow that process 98% of the time, you're going to get the result that you, the company, and the client is all looking for. And that's what I really kind of honed in with our team. It says, hey, like, I get that we're getting really picky on following the process, following the system, making sure the boxes are checked as we're going through it. But it is to set every individual involved in the project up for success. It's going to create a better experience for every person involved if you just follow that system. I mean, it's crazy, because there's been clients that I've had for years that have called me to say, hey, can I just get a price for this real quick? I'm like, actually, what we have to do is, if I can get you in touch with the office, or I'll give the office a note. They'll get something scheduled for us, myself or a project estimator to come out and take a look at it. And then we go through it. And people are like, well, man, last time you just, told me the price over the phone or just shot me a text message. I'm like, I get it, but we have a process we have to follow. And if I'm the one that's supposed to be enforcing those rules, I have to be the one to follow them the most, right? We can't have a do as I say, not as I do mentality. So it's like I said, it's something that's kind of been recently for us that we've come about, is really diving in and honing in on following the systems, the processes, and working within the boundaries we've created, so that the success is there. The opportunity to win is there for every individual. A lot of the guys in our operations team, they've grown up playing video games and things like that. A lot of you guys probably do too, or at least grew up playing them. I know I did, different war games or things like that as a kid. And it was always that, you had to accomplish certain things in a level before you could move to the next. And if you tried to go to the next level, you would either get stopped, it wouldn't let you go past that level, or if you did, you would fail because you didn't have the proper equipment or the proper accomplishments or the tokens or the coins received, right? So when you set your processes and systems up, I mean, nobody wants to necessarily live by a checklist. However, a checklist will help make sure that you're staying accountable to complete everything you need to before moving to the next item. So we have a lot of those processes and systems built in our project management system to help make sure that everything from a pre-project checklist for admin all the way to the post-project checklist of getting everything done for each project is completed before we can close that out. So sometimes it's a little bit cumbersome, sometimes it's a little bit tedious, but it increases the odds of success for every person involved and ultimately creating a happy client. So, like I said, guys, I'll give you one more look at the picture over here, the simulation. That's what we got going on here. If you want more details on it, kind of how we do it, how we have it set up, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to share it with you. But I just wanted to share that with you guys today to hopefully inspire you to think about, from a business perspective or a job perspective, or even just a life perspective, right? What are some things that you have to do regularly that you could, if you followed a process, it would make it easier. Hopefully it sparks some thought in that for you today and, helps you out. So like I tell you guys all the time, my goal is here to help pave the way to the life that you want and the life that you dream of. So I appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. Hope everybody's looking forward to enjoying a nice Labor Day weekend. I know we are, but I will see you guys then.